Well, I just got back from the Capitol, and I've got some pretty saddening news on our medical cannabis cultivation bill. I'm going to try to get through this and as quick as possible. But it appears that the governor is going to put the bill on his secret kill list. For those of you that are not at the Capitol on a regular basis, this is what I'm afraid is about to happen. Because the speaker's already come out in support. It will get through the House committee relatively unscathed, and then it'll go to the House floor. Nobody wants to vote against this bill. There will be some this year that will vote against it, but the majority have already co-signed onto the bill, so it'll pass. Our focus needs to be on the Senate, and particularly I want to outline the process at which this secret kill list will go into effect and how it'll play out. Because if and when it does, I don't know for certain that that's what he's going to do. But the way that it normally works is like this. This bill will get sent to Renee Unterman's committee. She is chairman over the health. If it survives that, and if it will get through that, and if she can guarantee us just a vote in committee, and if it passes, it'll go from there and it'll go into the Rules Committee. There, Jeff Mullis is chairman over Rules. That's where the majority of some bills mysteriously die. They will find numerous reasons why. They just cannot continue on for whatever reason. If it survives the Rules Committee, it will then be passed on to Speaker Pro Temp David Shafer. In my opinion, that's the governor's last line of defense, because once he approves it for a floor vote, which if the governor doesn't want it to go to the floor, is very unlikely. Normally that's where bills will get held over till next year. They just don't come up for a vote or they run out of time. But we need you to contact those three I just mentioned, Renee Unterman, Jeff Mullis, and David Shafer. If the governor is going to put this bill on a secret kill list, those are the three that he will attempt to use and come up with any excuse he can think of to let this bill die. Now, if you contact them right now, which I still encourage you to do, they will tell you, well, it's not crossover day. It hasn't even passed the House yet. I'm not going to issue an opinion on the bill. Well, that's fine. But what we are asking for is fair treatment. What we do want is a recorded vote on the floor of the Senate. This bill, House Bill 1, passed last year, and I believe in both chambers, there were only 2 or 3 people that voted against this bill. But the families of House Bill 1 and the families of House Bill 722, we want to know, where's that support now? Where are you this year when this bill can actually help the families? House Bill 1 last year was a great start, but it was always meant to continue over to this year so that we could have cultivation in state, so that instead of the governor asking parents to potentially become felons and illegally transport medical cannabis across state lines and risk federal prosecution, this was the year that the governor, the lieutenant governor, Casey Cagle, was supposed to help, really help the families of Georgia. And now we want to know, where is that support? Are you going to stand behind the 84% of Georgians that support our bill, that support cultivation in the state of Georgia, so that families can now really have access to potentially a life-saving medication? Now, some say that those people I just mentioned, that those will be the people that the governor uses. There's plenty of people in the Senate who they can argue this bill yay or nay. That's fine. All we're asking for is a recorded vote. Allow your objections to be heard, or more importantly, allow your support to be seen. We are waiting for someone to champion our bill in the Senate. We are waiting for someone to get behind, to throw our support behind. If you don't agree with a bill, that's fine. Tell us what you disagree with in the bill, not what may happen down the road or what could happen down the road. That will be for future legislation to deal with. Now, there's something else that really, if I hadn't been at the Capitol so much, I would say this is crazy. But unfortunately, I can't say that. But there are some that say something much worse. There are some that say that, well, we dealt with that last year. Okay, that's reasonable. But what I cannot deal with are certain people that have higher hopes, higher aspirations, that some say are hoping that this bill dies this year because they want to pick it up in 2017. They want to pick it up in 2018, which coincidentally, maybe they're planning on running for governor. Maybe they're planning on running for Speaker of the House. Maybe they're planning on running for Lieutenant Governor. Well, I can tell you this. It's 2016 right now. And right now, 84% of Georgians support our bill. 84% of Georgians want to see the state legislature actually act and help families. And I can promise you, in 2016, we are going to remember those who abandoned us in 2018. We can no longer wait. We have played your game. We played by the rules. My son, over my shoulder, is 7 years old. He turns 8 next month. There's scientific data that proves that, especially in autism, the advancements that you can make begin to substantially dwindle after the age of 7. My son cannot wait until 2018 to be used as a political pawn for you to run for higher office. And I will not sit by and allow you to do that quietly. I will call you out the second I catch wind that that's what this game is all about. So what we're asking for is state legislatures in the House and in the Senate to stand on your own 2 feet. Vote yes or vote no. You know what this pen represents? It represents and it symbolizes appeal to heaven. This was the flag that George Washington took in when he embarked on the American Revolution. He had plenty of people pushing him to just go along with the king. But he appealed to heaven and he knew it was not right. And he stood on his own 2 feet and he made that decision. This is one of the least popular pens in our state legislature. You know why? Because it represents legislators in the House and in the Senate that refuse to do others' bidding. It doesn't mean you're Republican. It doesn't mean you're Democrat. It means that nobody will pressure you into voting a way you do not agree with. That's what we're asking for. Senate committee members, Senate members, we're asking you to demand a vote, to stand behind the 84% of Georgians that support us. Let your voice be heard. We want a recorded vote. You can vote against it, but stand on your own 2 feet and do it proudly. Justify your vote. We'll respect you more for it. If you've ever viewed one of my videos or shared one of my videos, please, now is the time to share it. Share it with your friends and family, because we're going to share it across this state. And everybody in the Senate that doesn't support us and that cannot justify why they don't support us, we're going to let it be known.